Hello, welcome back to This Week Next Week with me, Aaron Francis, where I tell you what I did this week and what I'm doing next week. You may have noticed, you probably didn't, you may have noticed I missed last week. I record these on Friday, and last Friday, PlanetScale, where I work, had the day off, and so I drove down to Austin to see a group of internet friends that I've known for I think maybe 10 years at this point. So I drove down in the morning and I drove back at night. So I did 7 hours of driving in one day, a very Texas thing to do. So yeah, I drove down there, saw a bunch of friends. We did a little like hot seat retreat format. It's always very fun. I would have stayed for longer, but we're getting to that point in pregnancy. My wife is pregnant. We're getting to that point where it could be any day now. And so I didn't feel like I wanted to be away overnight. And so I drove down and drove back and didn't do it this week, next week. So here we are at the next week, which is now this week because I missed last week. Did you follow that? Does that make sense? So we got a lot to cover. I've done a lot. Super pumped. Very proud of myself. Glad I have you all to keep me accountable. First thing, we're going to combine this week and the week before because we skipped. So a lot to cover. I got aaronfrancis.com launched, out on Vapor, new design. Vapor is Laravel Vapor, so serverless hosting. Got the new design out there with all of the content, so you can click in and see all the podcasts where I've been a guest, all the podcasts where I've been a host, videos, all sorts of stuff. So really, really happy with how this turned out. There were a lot of things that I kind of had to debug every time you deploy a big design or a big change for the first time. Something always goes wrong, and this was no exception. I am shipping SQLite, so all of this is being driven off of SQLite, all of this content down here and everything. And getting that out to Vapor was a little bit of a trick. They, by default, don't bundle SQLite databases, which I guess makes sense because they're usually for testing. So I had to figure out a few workarounds for that, but I got it. It looks great. I'm super happy with it. And I feel like this is one of those load-bearing tasks that is now, I've now finished it. And so I feel like, oh, okay, now I can, start writing more articles because my site looks good. And I don't think, oh, I should write an article, but first I got to finish my site, but first. So feel good about that. In the process of doing this, I also set up a way to turn this thing that you're listening to right now, this very thing, into a podcast automatically driven from YouTube. And so the whole point of this is that it needs to be low effort. And now every time I publish a YouTube video to this channel, it'll pull down the video, split out the audio, and then use Transistor's API to upload the audio. So I will leave the RSS feed if you want to do audio only for this show. I will leave the RSS feed in the show notes, and you can switch over to just audio only. So really happy with that. The YouTube API, actually ended up using, what's it called? It's like YT Downloader or YT DLP or something like that in GitHub Actions. And then the Transistor API is very good. It's very clean, very easy to use, just super restful. So it was kind of a breeze. So you can see there are all my test ones, but they just pop up. And I think the show notes even come over, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, there you go. The show notes come over and everything. So I'm really, really happy with that. I'm really focused right now. On trying to hone in systems to help me do things better, faster, and easier. And that's something that it tickles my fancy personally. Like, I like setting up the systems, but it also, I feel, I don't know, I feel like I'm way better at running a system that I like. I don't know if this is like a personality flaw or just a truth, but I feel like I'm way better at running a system I like than working through a system that I hate. And so figuring out like, all right, I just need to spend a little bit of time redoing this system so it's either better or more congruent with the way that I think. That's something that I've been focused on. And this was like, I spent, what did I spend? 2 hours working on this. But this is way more fun and way cooler to me than spending 5 minutes every week uploading it manually to Transistor. And now I feel happy. So that's got to count for something, right? Okay, let's move on. I said last week, or last episode, I suppose, that I needed to publish some personal videos, and I published 2 personal videos. So I'm really happy about that. I'm really focusing these days on churning out content. I think I got stuck in like a little bit of a rut after like this got 152,000 views. And so I'm thinking, oh man, how am I going to top that? And I realized I didn't know that was going to get 152,000 views. I just put out a video and it did well. And so I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue to do the best I can at every single thing that I do, but not put the pressure on myself to be like, well, every video has to do more views than the one before. I do want every video to be better than the one before, but the metric that I'm judging on can't be views, because views are outside of my control. Other things are in my control, and that is publishing and making the content as high quality as I can, not necessarily the view count. So if you want to see more about how I got my my site published on Vapor, there's this static site generators are dead video, and that goes through like how I pull all the content down, write it to SQLite, and ship it out to Vapor. And then I did a fun one on Laravel's atomic locks, which are, very good. Very powerful, and I like them a lot, and the database implementation of those is pretty interesting. And so I did one of those. So super happy with that. Likewise, on the PlanetScale channel, just looking at the public view here, you'll see I got two more videos out over there. And those are both kind of long. One is 31 minutes and one is 16 minutes. So those were both pretty high effort, high lift. Looking just at these public view counts, you'll see the Easy Database Indexing Strategies is a 36-minute video, and it has 10,000 views. You Don't Need NoSQL is a 31-minute video, and it has 20,000 views. So those are doing pretty well. I'm constantly trying to like get another hit on everything that I'm doing, and again, the goal is to just produce more. That's the only thing that matters. We'll come back to this when we talk about next week, but this is not really something I did this week, but something that was released this week. I did many weeks ago. I recorded a video for the Laravel team, an introduction to Laravel Nova, because they're doing this big rebrand around Laravel Nova, which is their admin panel. And Taylor reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want to make a video for it? I was like, heck yeah, I want to make a video for it. So I finished this a few weeks ago, but it just went live this week. And so that's very exciting for me. I love Nova. I've used Nova for, I probably first used Nova like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's great. And it just works really well. One thing I'm super, I'm super proud of myself for on this one is, I changed my background lights to match the branding of their homepage, because it's like embedded on their homepage. So if you click take the video tour, it pops up and it's the same color scheme as their page, which I don't know, it doesn't super matter, but it's something that's like, hey, what if I just cared a little bit? What would happen then? So happy with how that turned out. I think that's it for the past 2 weeks. On the personal side, babies are coming at any second. My wife is pregnant with twins, and they're just going to be here at any moment. I talked a little bit about being in physical pain 2 weeks ago, and I've since been to a rheumatologist, and I'm on some like steroids while they try to figure stuff out. But the good news is I can like move my hands and everything feels fine. So maybe I'll just be on steroids for the next 80 years. I don't think they recommend that, but sure does feel good not to be in pain. So that's kind of a win. Let's talk about next week. The only thing I'm going to do next week, screencasting. Wait, The Screencaster Spotlight email is queued and ready to go. I didn't want to send it on a Friday afternoon, so it's queued and ready to go for Monday morning. Jason Beggs helped me get it all ready, and yeah, now this another system. Now this system is ready, and I can start sending these things out. So I need to shorten the cycle time on creating the systems, and then running them is fine. But hey, you know what? We did it. That's great. That's a win. So moving to next week. Next week is pure Goblin Mode. The only thing that matters is making more PlanetScale videos. So I think all of my spare time next week is probably going to go to work. And that's just because I'm about to go out on paternity leave, and I am really personally invested in this channel growing. And so I think all of my nights and free time is going to go to PlanetScale, which is fine. I like making the videos. I like my job. I am going to be at PlanetScale for a long time, so I'm fine with that. That's no problem. And I'm about to go on paternity leave, which who gets paternity leave in America? Nope, nobody. So next week is Goblin Mode, so that I can get as many videos as possible banked, so that hopefully the channel will continue to grow even while I'm out. So that's frankly the only thing I'm concerned about. I might try to do a personal video. I have these personal videos are just so much easier. They're just so much easier because I'm not speaking on behalf of anyone. With the PlanetScale videos, I feel like this responsibility to take very seriously, that I'm speaking on behalf of our company, and I think that serves us well. But it just adds a lot of pressure. In these, I can just be I do whatever I want. Nobody cares. So they're kind of fun too. But next week, I'm shooting for getting 4 to 6 to 8 videos recorded, which is just a huge amount of videos. So I'll be spending all of my days and many of my nights working on that. And that's it. I think that's all I have. So next week, hopefully I can come back here and either report that I have 8 babies, or no, 8 videos or 2 new babies. God, not 8 babies. So you might not even see me next week, because we might actually have the children next week. So that's all for now. If you liked this, please subscribe to this channel. I'll continue to do behind the scenes stuff. If you're listening on audio, let me know how it sounds. This will be the first one probably that people listen to on audio. And until next week, see ya.